and her name is Jenise McNair, and she is going to be sharing about how she got her book. Well, not all the details, right, Jenise? About how she got her book to bestseller and all the things that happened along the way, what might be coming up, maybe some tips for you, some insights into stuff that came up along the way as well. And I'm going to try to get her into the right place here because you can only see me right now. So hold on a second. There we go. Look at that. I
Yay, yay, yay.
did it. Yay. So good to have you
Awesome.
here, Jenise.
Thank you for having me, Vickie.
Yay, yay, yay. So everybody, if you have any questions for Jenise or me, just go ahead and comment below and we will get to it. So first off, um, why don't you share a little bit about what you do and what inspired the book?
Absolutely. So I am a licensed cosmetologist and a barber. I'm also a mom of three, two girls and a boy. And I was on my healing journey of just trying to get myself together. I was such in a low place of just getting out of a toxic relationship. And I just felt that, I wasn't my best self. And I was asking myself, how can I get myself out of this slump? And I've always wanted to write a book, but it just always seemed too big. When you think
Yeah.
about writing a book, it's kind of like a book. You want to write an entire book, and I started the process. I had the title in my head. I knew what I wanted to do, and years went by before I actually really stuck to it and committed to it. And it wasn't until a good friend of mine, Rhonda, who was, I have these conversations because all the time we always have these things in our minds of all of our dreams and our aspirations that we want to do, but it always seems unreachable. And I was having this conversation with her, and she was just like, you need to talk to Vickie. Like, you need Vickie. And I was just like, okay, wait, who's Vickie? And she's like, she's a 10-time international bestseller. Like, she's where you trying to go. And I'm like, yeah, I need Vickie. So,
Awesome.
after talking to you, listening to you telling me that, do it right now. The time is now. Don't wait another year. Don't wait another month. Don't wait another second. Let's get it done.
Yeah,
And that's what I did. Every
yeah.
day I was writing a little bit. I was trying to put things together. I got with your game plan, and it gave me structure. It gave me something to work towards. And here it was. Like, now I'm a bestseller, and it's amazing. It's like you see
Yeah.
something, you think about something, and then you ask yourself, wow, can I really get there? And the best
Yeah.
part was you, Vickie. When I talked to you for the first time, you were like, you need to start calling yourself a best-selling author right now. You need
Yeah.
to say it right now and believe it. And I'm like, can I say that? But my book isn't here. And you're like, yeah, you need to say, I am Jenise McNair, the bestseller of my, forthcoming book, Potential of
Yep.
a Man versus Truth. And I did. I got it
Right.
into my spirit, and it was just something that I really, really wanted. And I kept working towards it until I got there.
Yeah, that is amazing. So tell me, what was one of the biggest fear? I'm not going to make you tell us all, but
Yeah,
what
it's
was one of
okay.
the biggest fears while writing the book, putting it together?
So the biggest fear for me was, um, am I putting enough? Am I leaving something out? You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, when you're writing, sometimes you feel like, okay, well, this is your only chance, because once the book is published, you might feel like, oh, I left something out, or I put too much information in there,
Yeah.
and that was the biggest thing for me, trying to figure out, am I putting the right content in there? Because you don't want to just put things in a book that's not going to have any substance, that's not going to help others. And I just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that I was going to put content in there that was really going to be able to touch others and inspire others to really be able to know that they can do whatever it is they set out to do in life.
So who is this book really for?
So this book, Potential of a Man versus Truth, is for millennials. I believe that in our generation, anywhere between 20 and 38, I think we've got accustomed to believing that wisdom comes with age. You know, you gotta hit rock bottom and you have to, you know, go through all the hard times. And it's like, wow, when you get to your 60s and your 70s, it's like, yeah, I have wisdom now. I now can start, but you don't have to. So I want to help millennials understand that you don't have to wait to start doing things that you want to do, to start making better choices, start making better decisions, you know, to start going after the things that you want in life. I believe that wisdom really comes with experience. You know, it doesn't necessarily have an age to it. It's really all about what you choose to do and what you tell yourself that you're going to continue not to do. You know, it's kind of like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to take this road. And I don't want people or people my age thinking that because we're younger, you know, we can't get the best out of life and we have to wait until, you know, we get a certain age before we can really start fulfilling our purpose and going after the things that we want.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I thought I
exactly.
could really write a book for people, you know, that I can relate to, people my age, and really understand that, hey, you haven't made good decisions. You know, you found yourself in hard times. There's painful truths that you have ignored. But guess what? Today is the day that you can now start, you know, confronting the things that have been taking control of your life and really gain control back.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so is it for men or women or
So
both?
the book is written from a woman's perspective because I am a woman, but my title came from Potential of a Man versus Truth. I think a lot of people think that the book is for men, and it is. You know, I have an audience that I'm trying to reach, which is millennials, and it is women, but men are also able to benefit from the book. So Potential of a Man versus Truth, how I came up with the title is that when I was in my relationship and I was in that dysfunction relationship, I was fighting for something that I had no control over. I was fighting for, you know, my ex to live up to his full potential and for him to be his best version of himself. And I was giving all that I could. I was giving, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, trying to make him live up to his full potential. And it wasn't until I had to accept the truth and accept that I had no control over his desire to be whatever it is that he wanted to be in life. No matter how much I saw in him, he needed
Yeah,
to live up to that. And the truth
that's
of the
right.
matter was, as much as I was fighting for his potential and I wanted him to be his best self, I wasn't doing that for myself. I wasn't living up to my full potential. I wasn't fighting for myself and going after all of my dreams and aspirations. So, Potential of a Man versus Truth, and how the title came up was because I was trying to live up. I was trying to make somebody else live up to something that I had no control over. And the truth of the matter was, I had all the control over my life and my potential and all of the dreams and aspirations that I want. That was something that I could change. That was something that I had control over. So I
That's right.
just want,
It's yeah,
no, go ahead,
it's
Vickie.
just it's so true that we can't want something for somebody else more than they want it for themselves.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me about the bestseller launch day. Or no, wait, wait,
Oh,
wait. We should back up a second.
okay. Okay.
Tell me about uploading the book. So right before your bestseller, what were you thinking before it was live and people could buy it?
Vickie, I was on the phone with my best friend.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't hit the button. I can't hit it. And she was like, hit the button. I'm like, I can't. I wish you was here so you can hit the button for me. I was like, I can't. I'm so nervous. I was just like, what if, you know, people don't like it? What if I didn't say enough? And I mean, it took me, oh man, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I was literally going back and forth with her, and she was just like, "Would you hit the button?" And I finally was like, "Okay, Jenise, like this is it. Let's hit it. Let's get it done." And I hit it, and it was like, "Congratulations, your book is live." And I was like, "Ah!" Like it is really happening. Like the book is live. There's no going back.
That's right. It's out in the world.
It's
Amazon is
out in the world.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Cool. Okay,
Absolutely.
now tell me about bestseller launch day. What was that like?
Oh man, bestseller launch day. It was a day full of emotion. It was the day that I've been waiting for. I've worked so hard for, and from the time I hit live, it was like I was checking my phone. I was, telling myself, well, don't check it, and it was just so much emotion because it was like, okay, Jenise, this is bigger than, you know, your emotions right now. Like, I know you're nervous and I know, but it's what's going to happen. What's for you is going to be for you. And I'll never forget, I saw your post where you were like, my client, it's already 9 o'clock and she's at number 2. And I'm like, I'm at number 2. And it was like, oh my gosh, I'm at number 2. It's only 9 o'clock. But how does this thing work? Because I've never, written a book before. So I didn't know the process of how long it would take. And I'll never forget the email when you were like, you got the ribbon, like your bestseller. And I was like, oh my gosh. And Vickie, I was screaming on the top of my lungs. My son came downstairs because he thought something was wrong with me. But you hear on TV or you hear people talking about, happy tears. And I've never witnessed happy tears before in my life until that moment when I became bestseller, because it was like, wow, I was crying because it was like, it was something that I desired. It was something that I wanted. It was something that I thought at one time was too big for me. And the fact that I was living in reality, at first it was a dream, it was a goal. It was something I was working towards. And then it became my reality. And it was like, I'm a bestseller. I mean, even to this day, Vickie, my dad walks in and he's like, what's up, bestseller? And I'm like, oh, I am a bestseller. I get
so
emails
cool.
and text messages where, people are saying, wow, you're really an author. And not like only
you're like legit.
Yeah, they're like, you're a best-selling author. And it's like those moments where I have to appreciate that and really like celebrate that. I think sometimes we don't enjoy the moment and really enjoy what's taking place. And those are the times where I'm like, yeah, I am a bestseller. Like, I can't downplay this. This is a big deal.
That is right.
Yeah. So that day was awesome. It's definitely a day I would never forget. And it's just a day to remind me that, you really can do whatever you put your heart to, whatever you put your mind to. There's nothing out here that we cannot, obtain.
Yeah. And you talk a lot about your purpose. Like, part of your purpose was getting this book out to help the world.
Oh, yes. Yes. I believe
Yeah.
that. After talking to you, Vickie, it was like, okay, I knew it was something that I needed to do. And after talking to you, you just kind of nailed it for me. You was just like, putting this book out is something that you need to put out for others. It's not just putting the book out. You're going to put the book out. It's a part of your purpose. It's a part of what you need to do. It's bigger than your fears, because you putting this book out, it's going to help other people. And that's when I was just like, okay, Jenise, you can't go another year not, publishing this book. We have to. And I'll never forget, I was like, Vickie, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. And you're like, of course you do. Yes, you do. So it was like, here it was, somebody was believing in my dreams as well. And it's like, you never want to get to a place where someone believes in you more than you believe in yourself. But because you did believe in me, it helped me to know that it was possible. And you helped me make it possible. And I thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you for that. And you're welcome. I definitely feel like sometimes people don't see their full potential, right? Like just like your book, right? And so when they come to me, same thing, right? It's like, oh, well, maybe it's not good enough, or maybe I'll just downplay how awesome I am. And I even just this week with my group, I was telling them, you know what, if you could only see who you are through the lens of what I see.
Yeah.
Because we are so good as people, everybody, right? Of just making ourselves small and then just trying to stay in that little comfort zone. So congratulations on that. I mean, like, do you have any insights for people who are kind of where you were before? Maybe they've had a book idea for years. Maybe they started, maybe they're thinking, well, like, maybe I need to do more, be more, whatever, achieve more before I should do this. What kind of advice would you have?
So my advice for anybody, and even for me, and even mothers, with me having 3 children and being a single mother and having all these other things that are taking place, in my life, I had to realize that, I was bigger than my circumstance, that, I couldn't really focus on where I was, but more so where I wanted to be. And I think we look at where other people are, where they are. We want to be there, but we have to understand that it's a process and we have to take action. We have to, make the effort to get the things done that we want out of life. And it was the times where it was like when I was telling Vickie, well, I don't really have time to really, and it's like you do. We do things and we make time for the things that we want. And this book is something that needs to go out. Whatever it is that is placed on your heart, you have to know that it needs to happen. It's like a necessity. It's not even a want at that point. It's a need. You have to get this out. And if that means an hour less of sleep than what you're used to, then this book is worth it. If it means, just 30 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day, the thing is we just have to continue to work at it, to push at it. It took me 6 years to get it out. I didn't work on it every year. I mean, there's for 2 years that I probably didn't even touch my laptop, but the fact that I started in 2014 and then now it's 2020 and then now I'm just publishing it, it's okay. As long as you keep at it, tell yourself, hey, a little bit at a time. Everything in life takes a process. It is a process. And we really have to enjoy our process and we really have to, take it for what it is. Nothing's going to happen overnight, but it's not going to happen if you give up. It's not going to happen if we don't take action. It's not going to happen if we don't make an effort. So my advice to you is that a little bit goes a long way. Do what you can and work with what you have at the moment, and keep doing it until you realize, hey, you look up. You're like, hey, Vickie, I'm a bestseller. You start remembering.
And I'll be sending emails.
Yes.
And screenshots.
Absolutely. So keep at it. Nobody is going to nobody can make it happen for you. As much as Vickie wanted me to have it, to happen, as much as Vickie want her clients to be bestsellers, at the end of the day, you are the one that has to put it to action. You are the one that has to make the effort to get it done. So you are worth getting it done. Whatever it is that's on your heart is worth being out, to the world and to impact other lives.
Yeah. I love what you're talking about with like it being more than just you. It's bigger than you. Absolutely. And I tell people a lot of times that if you have a book on your heart that it's calling to you, it like that calling doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. Like for 6 years, you had this calling, there's like this nudge. I was like, you got to get this thing done. So let's talk a little practicality because I feel like maybe people might watch this and go, oh, this is just, roses and everything. Right. So on the days that you didn't feel like writing or words weren't coming out or things like, what did you do to help yourself through that process and not get discouraged to, and just chuck it? What kept you going? How did you get through that?
Well, like you said, let's be honest about the situation. Like writing a book, of course, doesn't have to be hard, like how you say, writing doesn't have to take a whole bunch of time and things like that. But life happens, and being a single mom of 3 and everything that's going on around you, you're trying to find time. For me, I was trying to find quiet time. I kept telling myself, well, I shouldn't write a book if I have other distractions going on at the moment. I kept telling myself I needed to be in a quiet place. I needed to really be able to have my mind clear and everything. But at what time did I really have quiet place with 3 kids around, so those were the moments where, sometimes I found myself sitting at the table and I'm like, well, what now? Like, what am I going to write about now? And I felt like I had writer's block and I felt like I didn't know what was next. But what kept me going was my journey. What kept me going was remembering where I used to be and remembering where I was at the moment in time. Like, hey, okay, Jenise, there was a time where you only had a title. Now you have 3 chapters. There's a time where you didn't have 3 chapters. Now you're working on chapter number 7, So it was like you're getting there. We have to find ways to encourage ourselves because we can't always talk to Vickie. Like it's been plenty of times I wish I could pick up the phone and call Vickie and like, Vickie, like, and it's like as much as we want that somebody to encourage us and push us and motivate us. We have to remember that we have to learn how to self-encourage ourselves and self-motivate ourselves, and know
Mm-hmm.
that the end goal is closer than we think. And that's what I
Yeah.
just kept telling myself. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, Jenise, you've been in tough times, you've been in low spots, and
Mm-hmm.
in dark places, and it's like, but you got out of it. And now you can tell this story to the world of how you didn't have money to take care of your children, and how you had to rely on the system, to take care of you, and how you had to humble yourself to be able to say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I need help. I gotta, it's nothing I can do about it. I think
Yeah.
if we really focus on what we can change at the moment and not focus on what we can't change, that's when we can really start making progress to, what we're trying to achieve. So that's what helped me out in the times that I was frustrated, at the times that I felt like, how am I really writing a book and I got all this stuff going on? How can I really
Yeah.
dedicate my time to this? And it's like, we can do whatever we put our minds to. I think we should just take little doses. If we get overwhelmed, then maybe just start
Mm-hmm.
back up the next day. Don't try to
Right.
do it all in one day. If you having a moment and you're kind of getting fed up and frustrated, it's okay.
Yeah.
Go to sleep, wake up the next day and say, hey, I'm gonna try it again. And I think
Yeah.
that's what life is about. Just
Yeah.
really being able to accept where you are. You're having a moment, you feel like you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do, go sleep on it. Wake up the next day
Yeah.
and you might have a whole bunch of ideas in your
Yeah.
mind. So I think if we just really focus on what we can change in the moment and really just keep pushing ahead, we'll get to where we're trying to go. And the biggest thing
Mm-hmm.
is just don't give up. Don't give
That's
up.
right.
Some people
That's
can
right.
write a book a lot quicker than the next person, but at the end of the day, our goal is to just get it out, get it
That's
done.
right. That's right. And if this is any kind of sneak peek, guys, if you're listening and watching the replay later, if this is any sneak peek of how you're encouraging in the book, that's a hint,
Absolutely.
guys.
Yes.
Jenise, I'll have you put the link to your book
Okay.
underneath the video
Absolutely.
when you get a chance. Do that so that if people want to grab it. Because what I heard you say was, rather than beating yourself up over, I haven't done enough, I didn't get as far as I wanted to, today's not working well, you instead looked at the successes and you reminded yourself, you know what? I didn't have a title at one time. I didn't have these chapters. I didn't have that. I had nothing. And look how far I've gotten.
Yeah.
And that encouraged you to know that you could finish because you'd already gotten that far and you've gotten through other things. And I know other things in your life has helped you know as well that you can get through anything
Yeah,
too.
and it's just like celebrating the small things. I think,
Yeah.
we think when we think about celebrating ourselves, it has to be big. No, those small, achievements that you make, lead to big things. And, we need
Mm-hmm.
to celebrate yourself when you find your title and you figure out your title and you know your chapters and you've
Yeah.
completed a chapter. Like, take that moment to really celebrate yourself, because you are a lot further than what you were yesterday. So,
Yeah.
like you said, we have to stop downplaying the things that we are achieving, even if it's small. You still take the time to celebrate yourself and encourage yourself to just
That's
keep
right.
pushing ahead.
That is amazing. So, what do you see coming up for you from the book? What's opening up? Oh, we didn't even talk about the press release. Like, what's going on with coming up in the future?
Yes. So
Yeah.
even with, and again, I know it seems like when people see things like this happening on the other end, like you said, it seems like, oh, it's too good to be true. And, it seems like a fairy tale, but it's really not. It's really one of those things where it's like this journey. And like on this journey, you start really getting the things that you have been going after. And it's like the press release and being seen on ABC and NBC. It was just like, it was so much that I had to take in, but it was real. Like, this was reality. I think we tell ourselves other things other than what's really taking place. And then when things really are taking place, that's real, that we should be celebrating, we really don't give it our all. And we should embrace any type of moments that we feel that are like worth celebrating. And being
Yeah.
that press release alone, people were just like, oh my gosh, like, Jenise, like, do you see what's happening? And I'm like, yeah, I do. So now I think for me, I'm trying to tell myself to just, enjoy this process, enjoy what's taking place, where I want to go and where I am today. I know it's going to take time. I can't just really think, okay, this is where I am, and now I want to be on Vickie's level. I have to work towards, the rest of my goals and my dreams and my aspirations. And I think the biggest thing for me is the emails and the text messages that people are saying, wow, like your book has really caused me to see life from a different set of lenses. Thank you
Yeah.
for inspiring me. Thank you for showing me that I am capable, that I am more than enough, that I have what it takes to go after the things that I want, because you've done it, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where I am. It hasn't even been a month yet, but I think I'm trying to still, embrace what's taking place of me being an author. I want, with the COVID-19 going on, I have a speaking event online that someone asked me to do, just talking about positivity and how positivity
Yay.
can be used, in your best interest. So I'm getting things like that. And
Yes.
I don't take it for granted. I'm really thankful for this journey of becoming a best-selling author. And I'm just excited for where it's going to take me, being able to continue to touch so many lives out here who are dealing with, painful truths that they haven't really been able to deal with and are running from. But, it hurts. Most truth is connected to some type of pain. The truth that we can
Yeah.
accept normally doesn't hurt, but the truth that we don't want to accept normally is associated with some type of pain. But again, living up to your full potential, is possible. You just have to want to live up to it. And
That's right.
I
That's
got to a
right.
place in my life where I owed it to myself and my children. I owed it to myself to be the best version of myself. And I'm still
Mm-hmm.
becoming the best version of myself. Every day, it's a process, it's a journey. Being the best version of yourself does not mean you're perfect. It does not mean you don't have low times. It does not mean you have other circumstances that may take place. It's just how you choose to react to those things that you have no control over.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. And that's where I am on my journey, only focusing on the things that I have control over. And I have control over going after all of my dreams and my aspirations and not stopping until I get them. So that's where
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, amazing, amazing. And I just love hearing your heart and your spirit come through and how you're talking about this being for other people and helping them, because I know you've gone through a lot in life, and that's, if you guys want to know all about that, it's in her book. You
Yeah.
gotta you
It's
gotta
not
get
always, it was not always
the
pretty. I'm
book.
telling you, it wasn't.
Yeah, yeah. And now seeing your smiling face and all of these other things, knowing a bit about the background, it's just, it's so inspirational to hear. And I love the positive angle that you have of how to get through situations, including writing your
Absolutely.
book. So thank you so much for sharing with everybody. I am sure they'll get a lot out of it. If you guys are watching the replay, any questions, I'm sure Jenise can
Absolutely.
come back and comment and answer and whatever, and then we'll get the link for the book put down below in the comments as well. Thank you, Jenise, for being on.
Thank you so
Congratulations
much,
for all your
Vickie. Thank
success.
you for everything. It wouldn't have happened without you. I want you
Uh,
to know that you made it happen. So
I am
thank
so
you.
excited to see these opportunities open up for you. You so deserve it. You're going to make some waves of change. It's going to be amazing.
Yes,
Amazing.
and
Thank
for
you.
everyone out there who are trying to figure out how to write a book, Vickie is your girl. Vickie is going, I call her the dream maker.
Oh,
She'll
thank
make
you.
your dreams come true. Of course, with your efforts and her passion and her being able to do what she loves, because I believe that everyone's purpose is connected to someone's need. And
Yeah.
as much as we, have it on our hearts to write a book and put it out there, Vickie has gone through the journey. She's gone through the process. She is
Yeah.
where we all want to be. So it's awesome. She's your girl, and I'm so
Oh,
thankful for her. So thank you so
thank
much,
you,
Vickie.
Jenise.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for
making
that.
me a bestseller. I appreciate
Yay. So exciting. Thank you for being on and sharing and being so open and honest with everybody. Appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.